Welcome to VMS Sportscast. I'm Eladio Jaimes and I'm here with Steve Lunsford, the volleyball head coach at Harlingen South High School. Coach Lunsford has been with the Lady Hawks for 9 years now. In that time he's guided them to 7 playoff appearances and 5 district titles, and he's got his team in the second round of the playoffs again. Third round, excuse me, of the playoffs again, going up against Laredo Alexandra on Tuesday.
Right.
Coach, talk about this current playoff run, compared to last year. We talked before how this team you have right now is a lot more mature, a lot more experienced.
Yes, the maturity factor has definitely been the difference between this year's team and last year's team. Last year they were juniors. I don't think they realized the importance of all the work and the importance of the history and the tradition behind the program. This year, seniors, I think they realized that. They realized the banners up there in the rafters are important, and the hard work that previous teams have put into it. Now they want to be a part of that. So they're making a good playoff run, and I'm proud of them.
And you talk about tradition. It's something that here at South, when it comes to volleyball, you guys, it's always been there, but not until recently, a few years ago, when you guys won your first playoff match. For a while, you guys were in the playoffs every year, just, you hadn't won a game, and then you made that run in 2003 when you guys got to a state tournament.
Exactly.
It's a good kind of pressure on the girls, is it? Am I right?
It's expectations. We try to stress that with every team, even to our freshmen. We tell them when they come in, you're a part of a tradition-filled program and understand your responsibility to that. And we feel like their responsibility is to come ready to go to work and enjoy the sport, be a good teammate, and then the success will follow.
What makes this group special? What makes them, like we've said, it's the experience. Last year they were there, but they didn't have the game experience. What else makes them a special group?
Well, I think what makes them special, it seems like every great team that we've had here, there's always something intangible that you remember about them, and that intangibility with this team is just the fact that they have mentally just toughened up. I addressed it to them very honestly at the beginning of the season that was our glaring weakness. The weaknesses that we have on the court, that we can correct. But they're the ones who are going to have to toughen up individually, and that they have done. We've been through some tough matches to where they had to fight out of tough situations. We did that last night against Mackay, who's a great team. We had an early lead, and they came storming back on us, and our kids just settled, mentally toughened up, and that's what I'm going to remember the most about them.
Where does that mental toughness come from, you think?
Well, I think, again, it goes back to the tradition that they want to make their mark. They stated from the very beginning they want to do something special. They want to be a part of that history and part of that tradition. And they realize if to do so, then they're going to have to toughen up and get ready for tough times and fight through it, and they're going to have to do it together.
Is it one of those things where the toughness might be there, they just had to find it?
I think that's exactly what it was. I think it was there last year. I think they were just, at that time as juniors, not understanding the situation. They didn't know exactly how to deal with it and how to handle it. And that's been the big difference. The maturity level's there, and they're playing with a sense of urgency right now. They want to do something special. Yeah,
like any other seniors, any of that, they don't want the season to
end. That's right.
So,
that's right. And then plus, they work so hard. And we've worked hard since August 6th, and we've pushed them hard. And so what we're trying to stress is when you get into those tough situations, you just have to know that you deserved it. You've earned that victory back on August 6th. So I think that's nothing that helps them mentally toughen up.
Now, we hear about Cassie Larios and Heidi Hands. Who are some of the other girls that have, stepped up big? I know you've talked about the back row.
Exactly. I'm proud of all of them because their attitudes have been so good. They've been so solid. But our back row play has just been tremendous. That's one part of the game that I can always hang my hat on. When everything else isn't going very well, we can turn to Lisa Garcia and Claire Galindo and Cassie in the back row. And they have just saved us in so many matches. It's been the most consistent part of our game.
We've had some great teams in the past. We talked about that 2003 team got to the state tournament. You've talked about how the back row play from this team probably the best you've had. Right. Can you elaborate on that?
Right. I think they've had to be because you look at your strengths, but you also have to recognize your weaknesses, and we're still working on it daily. That our block just hasn't come around like we wanted to. It's greatly improved. So our back row play has had to pick up because a lot of balls get through our block. And we're working on the block, and hopefully we can improve that phase of the game. If you compare that to the 2003 team, they had a great block. So that greatly helps you defensively. But our back row play is picking up the slack for where our block is lacking, at least at this point. We're still very much firmly believing in that block's going to come around when we need it the most. So it's time for it to come around.
The time is now.
The time is now.
And, in all 3 of those teams, you had you had Heidi Shepner,
Right.
and then you had young Chrissy Cruz coming out
Right.
at the setter position. How important is that position? And you know, that's like we've talked before, like the quarterback of your team.
You know, every great team you're ever going to find, no matter what level, freshman level to college level, you have to have that quarterback. You have to have that setter. Especially here at South, because offensively we run a lot of different things, and we run a lot of different sets and a lot of different locations. So your setter has to be able to get the ball to the hitter in several different locations. And Heidi Hintz and Bianca Torti, they're as solid as anybody we've had here. They're doing a great job, and we're proud of that.
What can you tell about Laredo Alexander? I know you guys played them in Dom before.
Well, we saw them at the Dom tournament, and I've seen a little bit of tape on them. The first thing that's most noticeable about Alexander is their size. They're big. They got a 6'1" junior outside hitter, and they got a 6-foot middle. This will be the biggest team we've seen up to this point. But you know, you're going deeper in the playoffs, and every match is a challenge. So that's just another challenge this team's ready to take on.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining us on the VMS Sportscast.
Thank you.
Good luck to you and Laredo against Laredo, and we'll be talking to you hopefully after the match. Some good things to come.
Thank you very much.